Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? Welcome to a DFS strategy video for the 2025 Baycurrent Classic. Now, if you didn't already know, this used to be called the Zozo Championship. It is essentially the Zozo Championship, but it was rebranded. It's going to be basically the same kind of fields that you're going to see in those types of tournaments. It is a 78-man field or 77-man field, I think, because William Mao withdrew. With no cut. So it's essentially a Zozo Championship. It's being played at a different golf course. It's the Yokohama Country Club as opposed to the gosh, I can't remember, the Accordio. I can't remember exactly what it was called. We'll go over it with the golf course stats and tournament information section of this video. And that's a good reminder for myself to let you guys know what this video is all about. I like to go over the same things every single week because they help first do research on what data points you should be using in your own research to pick the golfers that you should be putting in your lineups. And of course, I'll be going over past optimal and GPP winning lineups. We'll go over the bucket system. We'll review last week how well we did at the Sanderson Farms Championship. And then we'll get into the Marquee Tee Times and build some lineups at the end of this video. I don't intend on this being very long. I am not going to do any recap of things that I've done on the website like I've done in the last couple videos. Those were like 15 minutes long to go through, so not going to go and do that. We're just going to stick to this week, and I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. There isn't a lot to discuss, but actually, I guess there is, and we'll get through that as we go. Now, this is the first tournament of the new month, so we have a monthly giveaway to do, which we will end up doing here. Oh, how interesting. Okay. I was just checking something on the website over here. I don't know why I'll have to look in this. I'll get to it. Anyways. Here, I'll throw the giveaways up. There is a monthly and a weekly giveaway. There's a weekly giveaway I do every single week. Every single week I do a video. Next week we have off, so I will not be, doing a video next week for any tournament because there isn't one. But I do a weekly giveaway every single week that I am doing content, and I do a monthly giveaway every single month where there's content. So last month we had the Procore Championship, which was like around September 11th. And then you had last week's tournament, the Sanderson Farms. That was the last day of September, but it still counted nonetheless. So you can get entries into any of these giveaways that I do by just participating on the channel. So on these, week to week videos, if you just comment in the YouTube comment section, that's good enough to get you one entry. There is a Easter egg in there where if you follow the instruction, you can get an additional entry. So you can get up to 2 just by commenting after this video goes live. And oh, by the way, this is a live video. So there is a active chat that I'll be talking to in case you guys are wondering who I'm talking. Like I don't just say random names, but like Joanne, good evening. So I will be talking to chat, and that's another way you can get into entries, or you can get entries into this giveaway, is being here during the live chat and participating when I give out a roll call. It's much like, anytime that you're in a classroom and they give attendance. It's like, who's here, basically. And whoever's here at the moment that I do the roll call, that's how you get entries into this giveaway. So again, $5 weekly giveaway. And then the monthly giveaway is a membership to SweetSpotDFS.com. If we can reach goals, and I've had this goal here forever, it's the fall swing. I don't anticipate us getting up to that goal during the fall swing. But if we can get to 900 subscribers, I will also give out a t-shirt to go with the monthly subscription. So just so you guys are aware, let me show you what the SweetSpotDFS.com looks like. So right away, you'd come here to the homepage. I'll zoom out so we can see this a little bit better. Nope, that doesn't actually help. Let's zoom in. Yeah, let's zoom in super up close. I have a little tooltip up here, a little drop down. You can find all of the tools that I provide on this site. There's a few free things here. So I actually don't remember what's under videos, but you can check out the articles. I think I've got 2 articles. One explains the bucket system, and I forget what the other one explains, but you can go check out the articles there. There is a cheat sheet as well as an optimizer. So I'm still spreadsheeting despite having most of my stuff moved to this website. I'm still spreadsheeting. So if you guys want to come check this out, dang it, I forgot to. All right, you can deselect that and you can get this week's field. All right, I got to update this. I won't do that right now, but I will before before the end of the night. But if you come down to this part of the cheat sheet, this is where the spreadsheet lies. If you just click here, it will open up a Google Sheet. And then you can follow along with me throughout this video. This has this week's field populated in there. It's the Baycurrent Classic. You can see everything that I use. It's not Bermuda stats. It is Bentgrass stats. So let me just change that right now. But yes, everything that I cover, everything that I care about, you can find on this cheat sheet. It's available to you. The bucket system is here, as well as the dream sheet. So again, you can access that on the cheat sheet. Just click here. I also provide an optimizer. So if you want access to this optimizer, you just go to the Fantasy Tools optimizer. That'll bring up this page, and this pop-up will appear. You put your email address right here and hit request now. I will get an email that says you want this optimizer, and the optimizer looks like this. And again, we will be building lineups with it later tonight. So, and if you're curious, the optimizer liked Stephen Fisk last week. I did not, so I consciously ignored it. It was probably like the 3rd lineup built with the optimizer at Stephen Fisk on it. And anytime that I wanted to play a Michael Thorbjornsson with like Rico Hoey or Nikolai Højgaard, which neither of those last 2 guys did that well. But either way, Stephen Fisk always showed up and I hated it. I was like, come on, man. I don't even know who this guy is. And he ends up winning the Sanderson Farms Championship. So crazy, crazy, crazy. And then AJ's in there, told you about Higo. You didn't tell me about anything, man. You just said you liked Higo. You wanted Higo in your lineups. But yeah, good. Congratulations. You did well. Anyways, optimizer available to you guys. Again, this is SweetSpotDFS.com. And once again, those are the giveaways. The monthly and the weekly. So without further ado, let's go ahead and throw up the giveaway list right now. Actually, give me a moment here. I gotta update the monthly giveaway. Okay, there we go. Oh boy. Oh boy. Already screwing up. All right, weekly subscriber giveaway. There are 12 total entries. We had a few people here in the chat last week that got roll call entries. And then 2 people commented on the videos. Easy way to get additional entries. Easy way. So this is for $5. Here we go. Trey 123420. Congratulations, Trey. It is on you to reach out to me as to where to send that money. So you get $5. $5 to Trey. Might be your first time winning, might be your second time winning. I don't remember. But just to show that this is not rigged and it is truly random, I just like to click around. All right, so Trey gets the $5. Now we go to the monthly subscriber giveaway. This is for a monthly, a free monthly subscription to SweetSpotDFS.com. And it was Joanne. Joanne, we can pause your weekly subscription, give you a monthly subscription for free, and then you can pick up your weekly subscription afterwards. I think you're still an active one. If not, I'll give you that monthly one. So, and Joanne, you can bank this as well. So if you want to wait till next year, like the beginning of the year, say January, we can set this up for January. We don't have to do it right away, but we can if you'd like. You just got to let me know. And then we'll go from there. So congrats, Joanne. You are the monthly giveaway winner. Unfortunately, no t-shirt comes with that because we didn't reach our goal of 900 subscribers. Okay, let's go ahead and get in this thing. I'm just gonna fire away, get at this pretty quickly. Here we go. We're going to the golf course and tournament information. Okay, like I alluded to in the beginning of this video, it is the Zozo Championship, just named something different and also relocated to a different golf course. If I go ahead and put the Zozo in here, which you guys can do also by going to SweetSpotDFS.com, just put the Zozo in here, check the golf course. Okay, so Accordia, not accordion. I was close. Accordia Golf Narashino Country Club was where this tournament has been played, or was played in, I think, 2024, 2023. Was it that it? Also 2022? And also 2021. 2020 must have been, yeah. 2020 was at Sherwood, and I don't remember where 2019 was. It was at this one too. So they moved from Accordia. They had it there in 2019, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024 to now. Yeah, type in Baycurrent. Deselect the year, I should say. That's the tricky thing about this. This is something I got to update. If you drill down in 2025, nothing shows up, and I don't know why. I must not have updated the date or something like that. But if you deselect 2025, sorry, choose Yokohama Country Club or Yokohama. If you deselect 2025, some information shows up. I didn't get everything. I didn't have a lot of time this week to really dig into the golf course. I did get to see some videos. I got to watch Byron and Kenny talk about it on the Fantasy Golf Degenerates. I also watched Rick Run Good talk about his breakdown of the golf course. And a lot of things I really didn't disagree with, but I also think that they highlighted some things that were maybe, I don't know, some topics they overdid. They overblown, or whatever you want to call it. It's let me touch on that here after I say this quickly. You have bent grass greens, Zoysia, everything else. The rough, the fairways, the tees are Zoysia. So right away, if you want to use any of the tools on SweetSpotDFS.com, round by round stats, strokes gain stats, anything like that. So if I go to, say, the strokes gain stats right here, I need to refresh because that should have the new field in here. It should. Man, sometimes it just doesn't, the connection between the website and my database just does not work always. Here, let's try to refresh it again. All right. Well, there we go. Well, we have hold on. Wait, did I just catch it in the middle of an update? Hold on. It should say the Sanderson Farms Championship right here. I have this week's field here. Why is this not populating? Come on. There it is. It just took a little while. All right. I updated it right before I jumped on, so that's why. Okay, it's good to know. So 20 minutes it might take for me to do these updates. Okay, that's good to know for me. That's good to know for me because I didn't know how long it really took from it going from my database to the online service to the website. It's the three-way transportation. Anyways, okay, so let's go back to what I was talking about. We have Zoysia tees, Zoysia fairways, Zoysia rough, and bent grass greens. So any of the tools on SweetSpotDFS.com, you can go into the grass stats, and we can go ahead and put in there Zoysia and bent grass. So this will limit the fields you see, or the amount of rounds that these golfers have played. Of course, choose a date, use all the other filters that are available to you guys. Don't just, blindly put stuff in there, or not so much blindly, just don't ignore it is what I meant to say. But let's do something like this. So if I were just to put in from last year to this year, basically, of those stats, Zoysia and Zoysia fairways, bent grass greens, you will see how many rounds of golf that each of these golfers have. And some of them, not a lot. And I might even be missing some golfers in here, because I don't think everybody has rounds of golf like that. So if you put too many filters in, yeah, that's right. I think it did kick some people out. Anyways, so you can go into any of these tools. What I'm trying to say is go into any of these tools and apply the filters that are according to what you see on the golf course stats page. And that will get you a little breakdown as to how good these golfers are on those specific grass types. But going back here, you can see a lot of this isn't filled in. I don't have the fairway length. I don't have the greens length. I do know that they're going to try to make the greens run at 11.5. That came from the PGA Tour headquarters. They have like a little sheet that they give out. So 11.5. I hear that they're undulating greens. I personally didn't go in and look myself. The redesign, the renovation is from Ben Crenshaw and Bill Course. So you can even use that if you were to go into, any of the pages like I've said. I'm just going to do this 10.5 to 20. Okay. And if you go into golf course stats filter, you will find renovation architect, and you can go ahead and put in Ben Crenshaw or Bill Course, does not matter. And you will get the golfers, some of the golfers. If they don't have any history, they're not going to show up here because I've removed those that have 0 stats. So yeah, not a lot of golfers, not a lot. Maybe if I clear out the filters here, we'll get a little bit more. You can sort by whatever you'd like to sort. You can see Colin Morikawa actually has pretty good stats on Ben Crenshaw golf courses. Xander, Max Homa, Max Grazerman, Isaiah Salinda, Adam Scott, Hideki Matsuyama. There are some golfers you can choose there. So here's what I'm going to say. Let's go back. So I want you all to know whatever I'm showing you guys on the golf course stats page, or if you go here yourself, you can use these. You can use the filters on any of the pages, because I have whatever data you see here as a filter on any of those other pages. So do that. Now, here's the thing. The golf course, like I said, I've watched a couple podcasts or a couple videos. I've seen what the golf course looks like. There are tight areas, but it's not tight all over the place. So you would have heard some people talk about how certain distances, so if you can hit the ball 320, you're in the clear. Here's the thing we all have to remember. And I also like watching Rick Gaiman talk about his thing. Listen, I love shot shapes. I love talking about shot shapes. I love the idea that golfers can play certain shot shapes. He has a heat map tool, right? By the way, I would love to have one of those things. I just can't shell out $20,000 a year to get the ShotLink data. So good for him. Glad he finally created something like that. But what he was talking about in his video was there are certain golfers that shape it all over the place. They like to shape it to the left. They like to shape it to the right. They like to hit straight balls. Here's what you got to remember. Just seriously, I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to talk about just how tight the golf course is. And golf is a strategy game. Straightforward strategy game. Most games are strategies, but whereas other sports can use brute force to, dominate the other team's will, golf course, you can't do that. You can't use brute force to dominate the will of a golf course. The golf course doesn't have a will. You just play the same course everybody else plays. So first and foremost, it's a strategy-based game. Some golfers do shape it both directions. Some of those golfers are really bad at golf. So that's the first thing to note. Okay, you look at a heat map, that's fine. Look at strokes gained approach. Look at strokes gained off the tee. Look at strokes gained total. Check those stats out with those shot shapes. Like that's a big piece of that you need to include. The second piece of that is strategy. It is difficult to, and you could use a golf, like I could probably create a tool that shows you like golf course difficulty based off of shot shapes and apply that as like a ranking or something like that. And then we could look at golfers that have been that play hard, you know, like whatever that ranking is, the hardest ranking that I have, we can then, you know, filter out or filter by that and see which golfers play the best on those golf courses. That's a wonderful way to do that. Just using a heat map to figure out, oh, which shot shapes matter is very difficult to do because, again, it comes down to the strategy that they're trying to deploy and then the execution. That's the biggest piece of it, is execution. How good are these guys? Are these guys good enough to put on your lineup, regardless, you know, like with their shot shaping abilities? Let's use Colin Morikawa for an example. I saw this. 90% of his shots go left to right. There's not a single golf course that I've seen where it is so tight that you have to hit a shot shape, a specific shot shape. If you hit a 5-foot cut, a 10-foot cut, something that barely moves in the air, that's good enough to play everywhere. 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 You need to know the shot shape, what they're trying to accomplish, and then did they execute? How are you going to know what they're trying to do before they hit the ball? It's easy when there is a golf course or a hole that is clearly you need to shape it left to right if you're going to hit it 250 plus. Well, what if a golfer hits it 250 yards? What if they take their 5-wood out or their hybrid just to hit it to the apex of that corner that most golfers are going to try to go around? How are you going to incorporate that into your strategy? That's the other thing that I was going to talk about is there are certain choke points, like bottlenecks on some of these holes. Some golfers are going to hit it at the choke point and then figure out what to do from there. Now, it's not a foregone conclusion that if you club down, you're going to hit the fairway. If you club down, you're going to hit it straight. That's not, I mean, we've seen golfers miss hitting an iron off the tee to try to put it in position. Well, now you just screwed yourself because you've done the worst thing that you could possibly do. Club down and not hit the fairway. That is ultimately the worst thing you could do. Distance reigns supreme in golf. So if you're not hitting it far, you better be hitting it in the fairway. And if you're not hitting the fairway, you are screwed. So again, it comes down to execution. That's the biggest factor in all of this. Just comes down to execution. And that's the thing we'll always talk about. Recent form. How are golfers playing? Do they have complete control in their golf ball? How are you going to know that? And every week is different. You have some golfers in the field this week that are going from the Sanderson Farms Championship all the way to Japan. Mississippi to Japan. It's going to be a long flight. A long flight. That could honestly tire some people out. I really like Michael Thorbjornsen this week. But I'm also curious as to how the jet lag is going to treat him. How that flight's going to treat him. Because he played far into Sunday's round. Did he fly right away to Japan? How many days of rest did he have? I don't know. And I mean, if you want to check some of the golfers that have played, I would just say go to the cheat sheet, go to this page, and on the top here, first of all, deselect the Sanderson Farms Championship. I will actually fix this, but if you're watching with me right now and you're following along with me, just deselect that. If you want to see who played, just filter out by week 1 right here. You can see all the golfers that played. Kevin Yu, Tom Kim, Matty Schmid, I don't know how many there are. There's a bunch. Oh my God, it's at least half the field. Pretty much, almost, yeah, it is half the field. There's second, third. I don't know why there's a gap here. I have to figure that out. Oh, I think I do know why. I actually have to set these as sort IDs. Okay. So anyways, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down here. Half the field played last week. Or another way you could do this is if you use the other cheat sheet, the spreadsheet, the Google sheet, you can also go into here and apply a filter. And you can filter out from this right here. The last week's scoring stats, the LW filter, just filter out the blanks. Okay, how many golfers did play last week that are in the field this week? 40. So yeah, there's 77 people in the field. We have over half the golfers playing from last week. Now, here's the thing. You can use the bucket system on the cheat sheet. And we'll talk about the bucket system here shortly. But there is a last week bucket. And you can see of all the golfers that played the week before, you can see all of this right here. Last week 1 to last week 5, those are golfers who have played. Let's see, do we have the same? Yeah, 40 golfers right here. And then you can see the success rates, the frequency rates, and we'll get into this with the bucket system, but yeah, this is available to you. You guys can figure out. Sometimes it does not matter if you played last week and you flew from wherever all the way to Japan. So anyways, yeah, the last I mean, the biggest thing I want to chirp on here is there is, well, one, I hate course breakdowns without payoffs. I absolutely hate it. And I'm going to continue to echo it until people listen and people stop doing it without having payoffs. Give us a payoff. I don't care about your stupid take on the golf course. Unless, if it's a DFS show, if it's a betting show, unless it comes with golfers that will thrive at these golf courses. Give me 5 golfers that you think are going to be good at this golf course. Don't just talk about the golf course, waste my time, and then not give me any advice as to who you should play at these golf courses. So anyways, that's the first take. The second take is it comes down to execution. Are these golfers going to lay up? Are they going to hit, their fairway woods into these bottlenecks and then, hopefully get it around the corner and not have trees in their way? Or are they going to try to shape it around the corner? Because if they're not going to try to shape it around the corner, shot shapes don't matter. I do think it gives you an advantage having the ability to shape shots, because there are some approaches that look like there's overhanging limbs of trees that you're going to want to hit around. I have no idea if you can hit over these trees. We'll find that out. We'll find that out while we watch this tournament. But for the most part, I almost would just say don't get hung up into all that. I appreciate what everyone's trying to do in the industry, trying to, it is fun. Like when I did that golf trip in Iowa, I left it to, I don't want to name call, but you all know who I'm talking about. I left it to our host to tell me where to hit the ball. As I approached, I hit a good shot. I hit it in the fairway. As I approached my golf ball, I'm like, well, dude, I could have hit it around the corner here. No, you couldn't. That's too different. You would never do that. And I'm like, no, I would do that. That's why, if I knew that information, I would do that. So you should have been able to give me that information. I would have done that. Would my execution have been flawless? Probably not. Would I have gotten some penalty strokes? Probably. Whereas he gave me, safe advice. I took the safe advice and I didn't have a single penalty stroke because of being overly aggressive. But I also didn't birdie any of those holes either. Actually, I bogeyed one because I 3-putted. Yeah, I 3-putted. So that's a putting thing. That wasn't even, well, no. That was an approach thing. I had a bad approach. Could be because I was too far away. Anyways, so the lasting impression that I'm going to have because I did talk about the field. I didn't talk about the field strength. Field strength is, let's take a look. Strength of field is 291. Last year it was 265. The year before that was 262. The year before that was 300. So it's pretty much on pace. On 228 in 2022. Do you have 2021? I don't. Okay, so 2022 was the weakest strength of field. This is the second highest strength of field. So it's a good field. It's a really good field. Headlined by Xander, Hideki, and Colin Morikawa. Those are all great 10K and above golfers. And then we have a pretty juicy 9K range that I can't wait to talk about. So, yeah, my last, just to talk about this one last time, it comes down to execution. It's cute to talk about which golfers, you know, shaped shots in certain directions. We aren't going to know really. And the thing too, the thing that bothers me, I guess, a little bit of this is I personally didn't like go hole by hole, not yet, at least. I've not gone hole by hole to like map out the golf course to see what shots really matter. I know there are a few holes where it will matter, but by and large, it just comes down to execution. And frankly, your best players are going to execute better than your worst, you know, the lower end players. So anyways, again, without a payoff, why are we talking about golf courses? Why are we talking about shot shapes if there's no payoff? Like, it bothers me to no end. What's going on, Trey? Swipa, what's happening, man? Laying it up into junk is a pet peeve. I know, it's the worst. Weather is going to be bad. I have not heard, so that would be news to me. AJ goes, I've only heard about the narrative of who has played in Asia. I'm not sure why that matters. Man, some people just want to be relevant. That's all. Some people just want to be relevant and they'll talk about certain things just to talk about them. So, anyways, that's my take on the golf course. Like, yeah, I agree. By and large, for the most part, I agree. Shot shaping is going to matter. But, you know, I don't even know how many fades versus draws are going to matter. I personally have not mapped it out. So I guess my pet peeve is just nerds talking about it without knowing anything about it. That's my pet peeve. Swipa, typhoon south of Tokyo. Rain and wind on Thursday. Should be better for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh. So soft conditions, most likely. Oh, hey, another comment that I have. Sub-air system. I heard Kenny Kim talking about the sub-air. They're not going to have it on the greens. Sub-air was only implemented. I mean, they have it in the greens, underneath the greens. Sub-air was only implemented for summer months where the sun was too extreme, where it was too difficult to maintain bent grass greens. It is a part of oh man, I should link it. Where did I see it? I read a lot about it. I read a lot about this golf course, and I did hear, I did see the sub-air, because Ben Crenshaw and Bill Corr, when they renovated this, they wanted to make sure Japan is notorious for having the two greens. One are summer greens and one are winter greens. Like, there's greens right next to each other. And they'll have it like, in the summertime, they'll have the winter greens. Those will be probably tarped, or, you know, like they'll be fenced or roped, saying you can't play on those greens. And then you'll have the summer greens right next to them, and vice versa. When it's in wintertime, they'll have the winter greens, and then they'll have the summer greens that will be roped off. They did away with the two green system, and they just did one green. And in order for those bent grass, in order for the bent grass to survive the summer months, they put in the sub-air system underneath. That's the only reason they have it. So these greens will not be firm, or that just won't happen. I mean, I shouldn't say it won't happen. It's unlikely to happen, especially with typhoon weather. If it's raining, these greens will be soft. The golf course will be soft. Does not matter if they have sub-air. They're not going to put the sub-air on just for this tournament to try to make it, you know, whatever. Maybe they will. They're unlikely to. We saw that at the Players Championship when it was really wet. They're like, we're not turning the sub air on. Or was it the Masters? It was the Masters too. Like, we're not turning the sub air on. They don't care. They don't care. Trust me, they don't care. Okay. My 2 cents. My 2 cents. Let's go ahead and talk about historical salary builds. Let's go into pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. Okay. So again, this is the Zozo Championship, just masked as the Baycurrent Classic. It might just be called the Baycurrent Classic moving forward. But if you want, you can take a look at the Zozo Championship. If you go ahead and put the tournament of Zozo in here, take a look. And you can see the most common salary builds are right over here on the right side. 10.98.777 followed by 10.98.766 followed by 10.9.376 and followed by 10.9.8.776. The most common lineup build. Those make up the majority of your lineups. And if you didn't know, you got this little box down here. You can sort by salary used. Personally, I like to look at only lineups 49,600 and above, which you can go ahead and put a filter on and come down here and just under the salary used section. You can just select all the salaries, you know, that matter too. So I said 49.6 and up. So that's what we'll do. And that's all you'll get. So now when we look at these salaries, it goes for 10.98.777, 10.98.766, 10.9.376, 10.98.776. That is 1, 2, 5, 9 lineups out of 13. They all start with a 10K golfer, ladies and gentlemen. All of them start with a 10K golfer at the Baycurrent Classic, the Zozo Championship. So keep that in mind. If you want to take a look at other types of filters, if you go into tournament information, this little 1, 2, 3 button here, if you scroll down and we could look at field types. If we look at the field size from 18 to 80, or yeah, let's actually go 30 to 80. Make it real limited. See, now that other full field event is removed and it's only limited field. If we take a look at this, we have 210 total lineups that we can actually analyze. Again, I can go ahead and put that filter on that shows me just 49.6 and above. And we take a look at these lineups, the most common salary builds 10.98.776 followed by 10.88.776, 10.9.8866, 10.9.8777, 10.99.766. A lot what you're going to find in common is there's a 10K, an 8K, a 7K, and a 6K, and sometimes 9Ks. And most of these have 9Ks except for this top one right here. So by all means, I think it's the best time to go that 10.98.776. Just do the traditional lineup build and then maybe do a couple substitutions here and there. Sub out a 9 for another 8, sub out a 6 for a 7, or sub a 7 out for a 6, just depending on how your lineups, you know, when you build them, how they look, how they work out. So that's what I would suggest. But you guys can come into this tool and use it however you'd like. So those are just some common filters that I think are important. I was saying you could go in here and we can clear this out. I think there's an eraser. No. Well, there is. There's always an eraser mark. I should make this more visible, but you can go ahead and just manually do this. I was talking about strength of field. So I like to use this old method down here. And I said that the strength of field was 291. So I really want to look at 275 to, let's do 325. Let's make it a 50-point gap between the two. We have 63 total lineups to consider, and the most common one is a 10.98.776 followed by 10.947s followed by 10.98766, 10.88776, 10.88777, pretty much the same. 1098,776. I honestly don't mind that. And here, let's just do a lineup really quick. Again, payoffs. I want payoffs. When I'm listening to something, I want payoffs. Let's look what a 1098. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Let's put a 1 in here for 10K, 1 in here for a 9K, 1 in here for an 8K, and 1 in here for a 7K. And let's just see what the most optimal lineup using all of the bucket system rules are. And what we get is Xander at 11,000, Kurt Kitayama at 94, Vince Whaley at 8,000, Sam Stevens at 73. One thing that I think Kenny Kim and Byron highlighted was if golfers are going to lay up or, you know, not try to thread the needle around these dog legs, they will have longer irons into the greens. And Sam Stevens is one of the better long iron players on tour. I really like Sam Stevens this week. I do want to play him. So the fact that the optimizer selected him, wonderful. It does like, I know that the optimizer likes Vince Whaley, and I know it likes Max Grazerman. I know it likes both of those guys. But I'm going to actually deselect Kurt Kitayama, who I don't mind this week. I heard some people giving him shit for not being a good golfer. I don't mind him. This lineup, I think, is pretty sexy. Outside of the 2 8Ks, I don't, like I said, it really likes Vince Whaley and Max Grazerman, the optimizer does. But this lineup is great. If I go ahead and kick out both of these guys, I still want another 1098,776. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, a lineup like this. Holy crap. Xander, Goddard, Grillo, Hisatsune, Mitchell, and Kevin Roy. How about one more just for everyone there? And then we go Xander, Thorbjornsen, Sung Jae, Hisatsune Echeverria, and Keith Mitchell. Yeah, what a sexy lineup. What a sexy lineup. You can build some really good lineups going 1098,776. And if you don't want Xander, here's a Hideki, Alex Noren, Sung Jae lineup. Yeah, another good one. With Sam Stevens in there. We got some cool lineups we can build a little later. But yeah, that's kind of the path that I would be going down. And again, if you want to use this as you're researching, SweetSpotDFS.com. If you want to look at these lineups more in depth, the other page I would suggest is this Pass Optimal and GPP Winning Lineup page. This is where you can actually choose the lineup, choose the year you're looking at, and then choose the tournament you're looking, and you will find what those lineups are. Now, the cool thing that I added was this little piece right here that you can't really see. Let me put it right above my head. You see in the red font right there? You've got total salary and you've got total points, which means you can deselect the lineups and you can try to go create your own lineup by holding the control button while you left click. So holding the control button, you can go ahead and select the amount of golfers that you want. I'm just selecting the top 6, and you can see the salary spent and the points scored. And the thing that I like the most about that tool is you can then compare it to each of the lineups. So this is the GPP winning lineup. This is the optimal lineup. This is the SweetSpot optimal. So the SweetSpot optimal scored 649.5 points. Actually, let's look at the GPP winner. For the Pro Core, it scored 616 points. If you deselect the GPP winner, you can then go ahead, again, hold down control and try to build a lineup that scores more than 616 points that stays under that $50,000 salary cap. So again, hold down control and then left click. So if I just left click some of these cheap guys and see what kind of lineup I can build, I just need to find what a 7,800 is this? Oh, that's 51,000. It's too much. So I need 68 and below. Isaiah Salinda. This scored 625 points. So again, you can use this tool. It's called the Pass Optimal and GPP Winning Lineups. It is this highlighted tool right here. That way you can go in and just take a look, because obviously this tool here, the historic salary builds, if I just drill down on this SweetSpot Optimal, it gives me 998,777. So it's only giving me one lineup that, you know, would take down a GPP. But you can use this other tool to go in here and build your own lineups and see what type of salary structure goes along with you know, hopefully taking down a GPP. So if you wanted to look, let's say at, I'm going to clear out the filters. Take a look at the Zozo Zozo Championship. And we take a look at 2024, your GPP winning lineup scored 619 points. And if we sort by salary, we got 95, 92, 87, 82, 76, and 68. So that's a 998876 lineup, and it scored 619 points. Well, if we deselect GPP winner and just actually let's look at points from top to bottom. Nico Echeverria won, so let's go ahead, left click him, left click Grazerman, left click JT, left click Ricky Fowler. Again, I'm holding control while I'm left clicking. I've selected 4 golfers and I have just under $18,000 left to play with. So I will be selecting Kurt Kitayama at 9,200, and I guess I could kill it JJ Spawn at 83. And that gives me 707.5 points. So that obliterates the GPP winning lineup. And I used $49,700 of the salary. That would be a 998876, the same as actually the GPP winning lineup, the same kind of structure. You want to if you want that to go away, just double click in one cell. That should do it. Was there a 10K golfer? We can sort by salary top to bottom. We did have some 10K golfers. Okay, so what's the GPP winning lineup again? 619 points. All right, so I'm gonna go find a 10K golfer. Let's see. I'm gonna select the 10K golfer that's down here. $11,500 Xander or 10-2 Hideki. Let's just do Xander. Yeah, let's do Xander and see if we can get close to taking down a GPP. So let's go Xander. I'm gonna go with, let's go with Kurt Kitayama. So we're going 11,000, 9,000, 8,000, 7,000. Now I need $6,600 or less. There's Yuta here, but I think that's probably too, like, oh, you're not picking Yuta. Luke List. There we go. That's $50,000. Scored 643 points. So if we started with Xander Schauffele last year at 11,500, he finished 41st place. I do admit you have to get a little lucky here because you needed Nico Echeverria in your lineup. If you didn't have him, you probably weren't taking down a GPP. But this lineup scored 643. And again, if I click into Nico's name, then deselect Nico, select GPP, the GPP winning lineup scored 619. So you could have built a lineup last year at the Zozo Championship with Xander Schauffele finishing 41st place. So despite not seeing a 10K golfer until you get to 40th place, you still can take down a GPP. Of course, that comes with a $6,400 winner. Will a $6,400 winner happen this year? Probably not. If we go to 2023, 10,801. That was Colin Morikawa. If you go to 2022, Keegan Bradley won at 8,900. I mean, can I do here, let's see, what was the GPP winner? 598.5 points. So just, let's go 600 points. Let's just say 600 points. So if I select Xander at 10,000, Keegan, Ricky, Putnam, Grillo, Hayden Buckley. No, let's not do that. That's 49,200, and that does beat the GPP winning lineup, but let's just do something like this. Actually, let's follow this 10,98776. So I got 10. Can I do this? No, that's over. That's way over. Okay, I can't do a 9K. It's 5,200. Can I go here and then something else? 78. There you go. Oh, wait. Nope. Can't do that. Can I do this then? That's still $200 too much. Well, I can do this then. No, I don't want to do that either. Why does it gotta be so difficult? This is annoying. Okay, I got it. There we go. I can do a 10, 8, 8, 7, 7, 6. That doesn't outpace the GPP winning lineup. Oh wow, that is annoying beyond belief. I'm gonna do something like this. Let's get. There you go. I did it. 10, 8, 9, 5, 8, 9, 7, 6, 6, 8, 6, 4. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. Just like building 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. So anyways, yes. You can still take down a GPP having a 10K golfer that is not one of the highest scoring golfers on the slate, like inside the top 10. So I think a little bit of that has to do with the fact that this isn't as, you're just not as sharp. These tournaments don't bring out sharp people when it comes to building lineups, and I think there's a little bit of volatility that comes with these tournaments. So I honestly, I think just sticking to a typical 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 or 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6 or 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 7, whatever floats your boat, I think that's probably the best way to build your lineups this week. Okay, that's enough about the past optimal GPP labs. Bryson, how you doing, buddy? Says you're going to be sending the optimizer or a request for the optimizer. Okay. Who plays well in Typhoon button? Yeah, keep them coming, man. Give me all the suggestions for the website you possibly can have. Here, let me send something out to Bryson right now. Hey, Bryson, I sent it to you earlier today, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, I sent you one. Oh, you said thanks for sending the optimizer. You got it. I'm sorry. My bad. I don't know why I misread. Well, that's what happens when you stream. You try to read things really fast. That's just how it is. Let's talk about a review. I'm gonna do this. That's fine. Yeah, I sent it to you earlier, just saying thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, I don't have it up. Let's do a quick review of the Sanderson Farms Championship. The next couple pieces we're going to be talking about with the Baycurrent Classic is very similar to what I'm going to review. So first and foremost, Stephen Fisk is your winner at 24 under. If you were in the members only video, which by the way, there will not be a members only video tomorrow night. The tournament starts at 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. I normally do that stream at 9 p.m. I will not have time to do one before it goes live. So no members only stream. Sorry about that. No members only stream. Yeah, Stephen Fisk won. If you were in the members only stream, you would have seen, I think it was like one of the first lineups I built, and I literally said it on stream. I go, damn it. I don't want to play Stephen Fisk. He keeps showing up. I wonder, oh, I should have had that clip ready. I should have had that clip ready and played it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's there for those that are members to rewatch. So anyways, let's go on. This is the thing that I care about the most, is this and the Marquee Tee Times. So this is the bucket system for the Sanderson Farms Championship. I'm going to open this up here, and we are just going to review how successful the bucket system was. And here, I'll show you how this is done, because I forgot to fill it in. Basically, I just follow these little black tick marks, because that indicates the optimal lineup. If you want to know how to do this at home, kind of showing you the way. Michael Thorbjornsson was in the Sweet Spot Optimal, by the way, and he was one of my favorite plays. He was also there he is. Watch this. I'm gonna sort it by points, top to bottom. and we look at Michael Thorbjornsen right here. He was the 13th highest scoring point scorer. And don't get me wrong, that's not really good considering his, sorry about that. What? Oh my God. I can't mute that. Way to go, YouTube. Give me copywritten. Anyways, that's not super great when it comes to building lineups, but you could have taken down a GPP playing Michael Thorbjornsen. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this for the rest of these. I think that's 6 and 6. Nope, I'm missing one. Nope, I got him. Okay. So I'll hide that. And then we can see the updates. Okay. All but one bucket succeeded. And frankly, this one did succeed as well. This succeeded as well. We're not playing 3 6K golfers. That's for certain. It does have 2 in the optimal lineup. And this bucket, again, because of Excel and Google Sheets, I just don't have it coded to be 0 to 2, but we always know there's a 2-point buffer between the minimum and the maximum. So 0 to 2 is your range for this bucket. And that was 2. So all the buckets were successful from last week. And if you don't know what the buckets are, again, I have a video on it. You can find it in the description of this video. I also have an article written about it on SweetSpotDFS.com. Go check it out. The bucket system. So yeah. So the bucket system was great. Let's take a look at the Marquee Tee Times. Oh yeah, by the way, first of all, I did this review before too, and I'm sorry, I haven't done this in a while. Your optimal lineup scored 762 points. 45,300 is how much salary it took to build it. We are not trying to do that with building lineups. We're trying to build the Sweet Spot Optimal, which is the perfect lineup, the best lineup, $49,600 and above. Your GPP winning lineup scored 672.5 points. It used 49,600. So 672.5, Sweet Spot scored 728. 728 versus 672, 50 points. If you follow the Sweet Spot process, you could have built this lineup, which was Michael Thorbjornsen, Rasmus Højgaard, who I was not high on because of strokes gain stats. Leave it to me, who does not care about strokes gain stats, to use strokes gain stats to ignore a player. And that's what I did with Rasmus. So 96.95, then it was Garrett Kigo at 82. Then it was $7,800 Vince Whaley, $7,600 Christian Bezuidenhout, which the optimizer loved last week. I had to force the optimizer not to choose him, and Stephen Fisk. So yeah, the bucket system, the Sweet Spot process as a whole. Shoot, my bad. Don't play another ad. Did really well, and you know what? Since we're at the end of this segment, or not so much at the end, here I'll show you one last thing, and then I'm going to come back to Stephen Fisk. I want to talk about Stephen Fisk. I'm going to go ahead and sort this by the Marquee Tee Times. So there are 9 Marquee Tee Time groups. 3 golfers in each of these groups. The rules of the Marquee Tee Times, which I will be covering here shortly with the Baycurrent Classic. This is the Sanderson Farms, so don't get confused. We're reviewing the Sanderson Farms. The rule is find 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times to put in your lineups. And the other rule with that is do not pair them up together. Don't pair them up together. So they're in tee times of 3, groups of 3. Only pick 1 golfer from each group. And here's the proof in the pudding. Rasmus Højgaard was in the optimal lineup, the GPP winning lineup, and the Sweet Spot Optimal. All 3 of those. Other 2 golfers in his group, Keith Mitchell and Mackenzie Hughes, missed the cut. In the following group, it was Akshay Bhatia, JT Poston, and Nick Dunlap. JT Poston was in the GPP winning lineup. He was in 29th place in the GPP winning lineup. Scroll down here to Vince Whaley. Vince Whaley was in the optimal lineup and the Sweet Spot Optimal. So right away, we have 2 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times in the optimal lineup and the Sweet Spot optimal. So that's proof in the pudding. Find 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times. Do not pair them up together. And guess what? Rasmus Højgaard and Vince Bailey were not paired up together. And the other guy there, JT Poston, who was in the GPP winning lineup, was not paired with any of those guys either. Now, could you have won money? Yes, you could have. You could have won money if you paired some of these other guys up. Just taking a look, you know, like you had Vince Whaley with Matti Schmid. 14th place is pretty good. He scored 92 points. Yeah, you probably could have won some good money if you had both Vince Whaley and Matti Schmid in your lineups. Sorry, Matti Schmid in your lineups. Garrick Higo, if you look at his group, he had Matt Kuchar, who got a hole-in-one. He scored 90 points at 7,300. You could put those 2 guys together, and you could have won some money. I'm not saying you can't win money. We are chasing the optimal lineup. We are targeting the optimal lineup. Now I know I'm saying optimal. That's the sweet spot optimal. We're trying to target the sweet spot. Ooh, maybe that's the thing that should be the tagline. Trying to target the sweet spot, which is, you know, the optimal lineup. Anyways, there it is. 100% success rate. That's how I view this as. The buckets were 100%. The Marquee Tee Times were 100%. The sweet spot optimal beat the GPP winning lineup. And Trey, GPP stands for, Bryson has it in there, guaranteed prize pool. It just means basically if you go to DraftKings, I'll show it to you. So basically, any of these that have a star next to them, or I guess guaranteed down here, anything that has a G, this G right here, guaranteed contest, technically would be a GPP, but most people consider a GPP to be anything that's like 1,000 people or more in a contest that you're playing. Does not matter what the prize or the entry fee is. It really doesn't matter, but you're usually playing against thousands of people. Ooh, I should play the 50K to first. There's only 9,400 people in there. Could do that. I might do that. Okay. So there you go. That is the, that's what GPP stands for. Alrighty then. That's all I have for the Sanderson Farms Championship. 100% success rate. So, how about this? Let's do this is a perfect time. I'm going to clear this out. We already gave away the monthly giveaway winner. We already did the weekly giveaway winner. Let's do a roll call. Roll call number 1. Who is your winner this week? Who is your winner? I'm going to go ahead and put Zozo Championship still here. So the ZOC stands for Zozo Championship. Don't mind it. Give me your winner. This is roll call number 1. This gets you an entry into the weekly giveaway, which I'll be running 2 weeks from now, not next week. There's no tournament next week, no PGA Tour tournament next week. 2 weeks from now, I will be doing a weekly giveaway, and this will also go towards the monthly giveaway, which I'll be running in November. Who's your winner? AJ says Kevin Roy. AJ, you're kind of going on a little bit of a limb there. Patrick Waugh, is that who your choice was? Patrick Waugh? By the way, that new subscriber's been on there for a while. I gotta change that. There's been newer subscribers since. Let's put J Roberts 25 on there. Oh. Okay, perfect. AJ Love. Bryson. Bryson's like first. Just gonna put Bryson Anderson. Bryson's first roll call. The Daywalker, Danny Walker. Yeah, Trey, you won this last weekly subscribe or the weekly giveaway. You won this one or today's. Reach out to me, email me where I can send you $5. We can always bank it for merchandise. Like, I mean, Joanne loves to do that. Other people do it as well. We can bank it. I don't keep track of it. I leave it up to you guys to keep track of. Joanne, you got to give me a name. Just give me a name. We don't have to be accurate. Just give me a name. I want to see a name on the board for you. Heard Roy was the best at par 4 averages. Okay. Joanne's gonna go with Roy as well. We're speaking Kevin Roy into existence. Oh, cool. What did I win? A membership or something, or $5? I just got here, missed it. You could, hey, the beautiful thing about YouTube, there's this little progress bar down here. Just click and hold and bring it all the way over this way. If you're on your mobile thing, you can click it with your finger, or you can, hold it with your finger and move it over. Go to the giveaway. Whatever, like what you see on the screen right there, the weekly subscriber giveaway, if you scroll and you rewind till you find that on the screen, you're in the right spot. That's how I do timestamps. I usually just look to see whatever screen is on at the time that I'm scrolling through. That's how I do my timestamps. Nathan Johnson. Alex Noren. Ooh, I like that pick. You're welcome, Trey. Okay. Let's jump into the bucket system for the Baycurrent Classic. Again, we're using the new bucket system, but you could follow along on the cheat sheet under bucket system. I have it on the spreadsheet here. It's basically the same thing. I just don't have the projections on the site. Not yet, at least. But if you want to use the website, what I would do is you always got to put a tournament in this little box here. I would put in the Zozo, because if you put in the Baycurrent, and I will change this in the future, because I usually switch every tournament name to match whatever tournament it currently is. The Baycurrent Classic is going to have 0 stats. You see this? There's 0. Nothing for any of these tools. So I would use the Zozo. And again, I will change it. This is my fault. Just go ahead and put in Zozo Championship. And so therefore, what you're going to find out, or what you're going to see, is the bucket system. This has basically your frequencies of how many golfers finish inside the top 10, the optimal lineup, the top 5, the top 20 within each of these buckets. And the buckets are finishing places, essentially. So last year, if you use the last year stats, last year one is they finished 1st to 20th place last year, and so on and so forth. Again, I have an article written about this that explains what each of the buckets are. Go check it out under fantasy tools, articles, or there's a video in the description of this one that says the bucket system. Go check it out. It explains what the bucket system is. But basically, I'm looking at top 10 frequencies. Here's the thing. Everybody talks about what we're trying to do in this podcasting realm, especially when it comes to DraftKings or anything like that, is we're trying to figure out the golfers in this field with the stats that they currently have. How can we compare that to previous iterations of this tournament with the golfers of each of those tournaments, like the fields within each of those tournaments? And what people tend to do, which I heavily disagree upon, is they will look at the performances at those tournaments. They'll look at the performances at those tournaments. So they'll look at last year's Zozo and they'll go, huh, well, it looks like off the tee was the most important stat based off of how well everyone did. Well, shoot, we have no idea. Well, we have an idea as to why driving would be the best at that golf course, but when you compare it to the other stats, here's what ends up happening. I'm going to give you the very watered down version of this, the most simplified version of this. If we look at last year's performance at the Zozo Championship, what you're going to find out is, you know, there's 78 golfers in the field. Half of them, if not more, found the fairway on each of their tee shots. That could be because the fairways are super huge. It could be because there's no wind. Now, we could also do the flip side of that, where they hit the fairway because maybe the fairways are really wide, but there was a lot of wind. So the iron shots into those greens were more challenging because there was wind. There's more spin on your iron shots than there is with your driver. So the ball can move a bit further with iron shots than it would with drivers. Well, especially with backspin, I should say. Nobody ever does. Like, my issue with well, first of all, I don't agree with that type of analysis anyways. Why aren't people looking at lead-in stats from those previous tournaments? So the 2024 or the 2025, or no, yeah, 2024 Zozo. What about the lead-in stats of the golfers coming into the 2024 Zozo? What were their lead-in stats? Why are we not comparing those lead-in stats to this week's lead-in stats? Wouldn't that make more sense? Right? When you think about it, nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that except me. The bucket system, that's what this does, is it's looking at lead-in stats from previous tournaments, and it's just giving you the stats that I'm looking at last year, last week, course history, recent form, salaries, and then strokes gain stats. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Strokes gain, I have as my own little bucket combinations. This is what I care about strokes gain stats. Again, the article explains what the bucket system is with strokes gain stats. This page on SweetSpotDFS.com under the bucket system is wonderful. Scroll down to this little section here, results with lead-in bucket stats. So you can select the year you want to look at. Let's just look at 2024. Okay. So this is 2024's Zozo Championship. You can see the raw stats coming in. What was their last year finish? What was their last week finish? What was their course history? What was the recent form? And then the strokes gain bucket number. I just put that there for you guys to see. Okay. You can look at the raw stats. You can look at their bucket IDs. It's the same golfers. If you just keep your eye on it, the golfers don't change. Nothing really changes except for the data that's showing off to the right. So you can see last year, last week, course history, recent form, strokes gain. These are all the bucket numbers. So you could just look at the bucket numbers and just try to pick golfers that kind of follow along with those bucket numbers, because these are their lead-in stats coming into the event. Here is the you'll love this. Their strokes gain stats. This is 365 days. I could apply some other filters up here. We can maybe not just look at 365 days. We could look at, you know, last 36 rounds, whatever. I don't care. I've always gone by last 365 days with strokes gain stats. I don't think 36 rounds. I don't think there's even a sweet spot when it comes to how many rounds back you should look at. Honestly, I'm just going to make it consistent every single time I look at this. So we're just looking at strokes gain stats. What were their lead-in strokes gain stats coming into this event? There you go. You have it itemized. Off the tee, approach, around the green, putting, total. Not itemized, but it's by each of those strokes gain stats. Nico Echeverria was coming in with basically 0 stats off the tee, negative stats on approach, negative stats around the green. So if we were to say, hey, driving really matters at the Zozo Championship, how are you going to figure that out with Nico? And if they're not good drivers, you're going to want good approach players. How in the hell are you going to find that out with Nico? You're not. You're not going to figure that out with Nicholas Echeverria. If you go through each of these years, by the way, so 2024, let's go 2023. You can look at Colin Morikawa. Underneath Colin Morikawa is Eric Cole, negative 0.228 off the tee. Positive on approach, but again, how are you going to select him? How would you get to Robbie Shelton at $6,200? Or even Ryo Ishikawa down here? They're all in the negatives. Now, of course, you probably skip out on these guys, if we're being quite honest, and you're probably just going like Morikawa, Cole, Bo Hosler, but there's negative stats in each of these. So how do you determine, which golfer you're going to want to play based off of the performance stats of that event? It's the biggest pet peeve I have. It makes literally no sense to me. Unless somebody was going, okay, here's the performance stats of the 2024 Zozo Championship. Here's what every golfer did. And it's like, hey, look, off the tee matters more than approach. And it showed, the average off the tee stat was higher than the average approach stat. If they then compared that to the golfer's lead-in stats and was like, oh, this matches up. Look at this. Off the tee mattered. And look at the golfer, their lead-in stats coming into this. They're all really good off the tee. That would make so much sense, but that's not how this game works. That's not what people do. So anyways, my plug as to why the bucket system is such a beautiful tool is because we're looking at lead-in stats for every year. Every year, we're looking at lead-in stats. And the other beautiful thing about this, I'm going to deselect this. We're going to select all years. Oh, not there. Here. We'll select all years. We scroll down to here. Come down. Come with me. Bucket totals per year. So we're looking at each bucket. You know how I tell you this is the engine? Like if I were to go to this page, or if I go to the spreadsheets and I come here, and I explain to you, hey, this is the engine that goes behind the bucket system. We're looking at, last year's stats, last week's stats. We're looking at top 10s, and I give you oh, look, every single year. Well, watch this. See that? 2024, 3, 2023, 3, 2022, 2, 2021, 2, 2023, and then it's just a bunch of zeros down here. Well, what do we see here? 3, 3, 2, 2, 3. Huh. And going back to the bucket system, I have this under top 10 counts. If I went to top 5 counts, it changes. If I go back here and we take a look, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Go back to the bucket system, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. You have this. You guys have what I've always had at the tip of your finger at SweetSpotDFS.com. You can go here and look at all the counts. Look at all of the counts. What matters? Last year ones. Look at this. Almost every year. And again, this tournament started in 2019. So you wouldn't have last year's stats in 2019 because that's when the tournament started. There was no 2018 tournament where stats would be filled in here. So it looks like you want at least 2 or 3 last year ones. Well, if you drill down on this right here, just drill down on the last year one and we scroll up, you're going to see every golfer that was a last year one. Go into bucket IDs. Look at this. These are all the last year one golfers. Kurt Kitayama. So you can even look at salaries, name value. You can see the DK points that were scored. You can see the other buckets that were in combination with it. There's so much you can do with this tool. And really, you're not finding many 6K golfers in this bucket. Yeah, I can't really filter down by that, by 6Ks. But you can eyeball it, or we can actually sort by salary, and you can see all the 6Ks that are here. And the names that belong to those 6Ks. Hayden Buckley, he's no slouch. Matthew Neesmith, no slouch. Hida Nakajima in 2023, you probably didn't even know that golfer's name. He finished 51st place, so that's not even a big deal, to be quite honest with you. And neither was Hayden Buckley, sorry. Let's look at these. Oh yeah, let's go by finishing position. Let's go top 12s. That's another filter thing that you can do. Top 12s. Let's just look at all the top 12s. Okay, so 6K is the only guys you have is Satoshi Kodaira, who'd already won on tour, Corey Connors, who'd already won on tour, $7,100 Ryan Palmer won on tour, $7,200 Ryo Satsune. Didn't really know of him in 2023, to be honest. So here we can be like, do we want to play a Japanese golfer that we don't really know of? That might be in the 7K range. It's a possibility. But you can look at all the name value here. You can look at their price tags too. Not many 10K golfers, just Justin Thomas in 2020. But a lot of 9s. Oh, actually, a lot of 8s. So here's the thing. Now you could go into the cheat sheet, go to the dream sheet. I'm going to sort by salaries, top to bottom. And actually, let's filter out by last year ones. Let's look at our last year ones. Who's in the 8K range? Anybody? Nobody. Is there really only four golfers in the last year one bucket? Oh, no. I have last year's. Sorry. I had a filter already applied. Okay, here we go. 2 golfers, Sung Jae and Max Grazerman, that are in the 8K range. Again, what we could do is go back to the bucket system. I am curious. I'm gonna actually remove this finishing position filter because I don't want it to be looked at. And I do have last year one selected. We don't have to. If I deselect top 10 counts, I actually get totals. How many golfers have we seen every single year? It goes 12, 17. Actually, let's just click on this. We go 12, 17, 16, 6, 15. I'm really curious to the 6. So if you drill down just on that 6 and we scroll up here, we can see the golfers it's from 2021, and we can look at the finishes. $7,300 Sebastian Munoz, $8,400 Lanto Griffin. Then you can see the other, and the reason this matters to me is because this year, what do we have? We have 9 golfers. 9. I should put an average on that. If I go to my page and I go to my summary, what do we have for average of last year ones? 13.4. This year we have 9. 13.4. So we are a little under the number, under that number that we typically do. But the year where there are only 6, and that was 2021, we had 2 golfers finish inside the top 10. Now, that is the same golf course, mind you. That is the same golf course. That's something you got to consider. That is the same golf course. No, it was not. I'm so sorry. 2021 was... 2021 was... Sorry. 2020, they played at the Summit Club in Vegas. Then 2021, they went back to Japan. But 2020 was the COVID year. They played at the... I think it was the Summit Club, right? Or Sherwood Country Club? Was that what it was? Sherwood? It was one of them, and... I think, was that one California or was that one? I don't know. You know what? I do know. Just wait. Just give me a second. So if we put Zozo in here after it thinks. Okay. Zozo. Do that. And we want to look at the 2021 Sherwood Country Club. Okay, so Sherwood. Actually, I'm gonna have to use a different tool. PGA Tour schedule. This is another tool if you guys didn't know. It's the schedule, and I'm gonna go to 2020. So if I select the year 2020, select the event name of Zozo. Oh, this goes by season, not year. I'm sorry. 2021. California, Sherwood Country Club in California. Okay, so it was in California. So this is actually a kind of a good comparison. 2015, they were in California. They go to Japan, a different golf course, and there were only 6 golfers from the California iteration of the Zozo Championship that were in that last year one bucket. 2 of them finished inside the top 10. That's not really the same that we have here, but it is a different golf course in Japan. So it's not the same golf course. We can use that bucket still. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And And we did see there was an 8K and a 7K golfer. So if I go back to the cheat sheet, I would, you know what? Any of these golfers are in play. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, I don't have an issue with any of them. You know, if you want to go with try and true players, Sungjae or Max Grazerman with Eric Cole. I really like Eric Cole now that I think about it this week. I don't mind Nico Echeverria either. Those are good plays. So again, that's the beauty of the bucket system. This is available to you guys, but it is behind a paywall, so you do have to be a paying member in order to see it. Put in the tournament. Again, I said Zozo. I will change this to Baycurrent at some point in time. I don't think I will before the end of the or before the beginning of the tournament. So just go look up Zozo, and you can see the numbers. You can see the success rate, the frequency rate. You can see this 100%. So every single year, there's been at least one golfer from the last year one bucket to finish inside the top 10. And then you can look at the rest of these. Last year's sixes, there's always been at least one. It's crazy to see there were 4 golfers in this bucket at one point in time for the optimal lineup. 4 to 6, like 4 is the minimum of how many golfers finish inside the top 10 from the last year's 6 buckets. That's crazy, but it only 12%. I do need to have a this week little sub section over here. That also reminds me, I need to make those updates on my spreadsheet. So anyways, yeah, check it out. By the way, the optimizer already has these projections, and I guess there's no projections on this page. There's projections that you can see on the cheat sheet if you go here and take a look. I'm going to clear out these filters. If you go to the bucket system, I do have the projections. They're already highlighted right here. Those projections are in here. And I showed you how well it did at the Sanderson Farms Championship, so I anticipate it's going to be good this week as well. Okay. That is the bucket system. That's all that I'm going to talk about. I really didn't go bucket by bucket. I'm just giving you guys the tools in order to do this on your own, to go look it up on your own. Go check it out, SweetSpotDFS.com. Do I have anything selected? Oh, it's by finish. You can do that too. You can look at every first place finisher, what each of their buckets were, or even their strokes gain stats coming into the view. If you, again, sort by finish, every winner except for Nico Echeverria at positive strokes gain total at least 0.7 and above. 0.7 and above. What you can do with this, by the way, is go to the strokes gain tab, strokes gain, and up in this column up here, if you select date, and it's 365 days. So today's date's 10/7. So let's go 9. I'm going to just go 9/5/2024 all the way until now. Oh, I have other filters on here. Let me clear those out. Do this again. 9/5, or no, not 9/5. 10/5/2024. And we just look. Oh, actually, it shows it right here. I want from this Thursday, 10/3/2024. You can see how many rounds of golf. We can sort by total from top to bottom. Remember what I just showed you? We go back to the bucket system. Every winner except for Nico last year had 0.7 strokes gained and above. 0.75. 0.75. So that is basically Colin Morikawa and up. Morikawa, Matsuyama, Norin, Nikolai Højgaard, Kurt Kitayama, and Ren Yonezawa. Don't know who that is. Does that mean? I don't have the lead-in stats, I guess. Well, yes, I do. You can look at every lead-in stat. I mean, look at this, though. Seriously. I'm going to highlight all the ones that are, like, underneath 0.5. There's Nico, Ricky, Brennan Steele, Emiliano Grillo, Ricky Fowler, Cam Smith, Mac Hughes, Munoz, Shelton, Ishikawa, Hayden Buckley. These are all like 4th place, 5th place finishes. Kensei Harada, would never pick him. 0.21, 0.41, 0.332. So yeah, there's not a lot. I mean, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 just in this top page. And there's probably like 25 golfers there. So yeah, like 3/4 of the golfers have positive 0.5 strokes gained total and above. And really not that many super negative strokes gained golfers. So what you could do on the cheat sheet, let's go to the dream sheet. Get my stats, the strokes gained stats that you see on here. If we scroll all the way over here to the right and we go strokes gained total, you can basically, these golfers right here can be ignored. They can largely be ignored. Some of them are going to have success, but like Benny Ann, Kita Nakajima, Isaiah Salinda, surprising. So like, that's surprising. Max Homa, he's probably a golfer you can actually, you know, cut off that list. He'll probably be one guy that will finish, you know, pretty well. Joe Highsmith, Lipsky, Sahith Theegala. So like 2 golfers I actually do think that have an opportunity to not fall victim to having negative strokes gained stats would be Max Homa and Sahith Theegala. But if you wanted just to be safe and not play those golfers, by all means do so, because it's not a very good stat to have heading into this event. But everyone else is live. So how many golfers is this? You'd almost cut 23 golfers from your pool if you just follow this. And this is just, again, strokes gained total, looking at strokes gained total. Now I will admit this kind of kicked me in the ass last week, because that's how I got off of what's his name? Rasmus Højgaard. Rasmus Højgaard last week had like negative 0.1 strokes. Let's see what he is right now. It's going to be like the same. If I go salary top to bottom, we look at Rasmus right here. Oh, he's in the positive now. What the heck? Was I looking at filtered down stats? Like I was looking at Bermuda stats or Bermuda splits, and he had negative strokes gained total. Oh, you know what I could do? Actually, I can put in the same dates. We'll skip last week and we'll just go 9/30/2025. Yeah, so he was break even. Rasmus right here, 0.0057. Like last week was good for him. Last week he gained 3, not last week, sorry, that's not last week. Come on. Oh, the Sanderson Farms Championship's not in here. That's fine. I mean, this kind of proves my point. I mean, it changed. It must be. So weird. Oh, there's the Sanderson. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. Okay, my bad. I skipped the Sanderson, so I wasn't in there. So he gained 11 strokes gained total. Yeah, that's a huge boost to his overall average for strokes gained total. Yeah, so he's break even. He wasn't in the negative. Whereas this year or this week, staying away from negative strokes gained stats are probably the best way to go. Anyways, that's the bucket system. Last thing to talk about before going into building lineups. Let's talk about Marquee Tee Times. Now, again, I'm going to be quick with this. I shouldn't say again, because I wasn't very quick with the last segment. But Marquee Tee Times. This is the top 9 groups. Top 9 groups in this week's field. We want to select 2 to 4 golfers from the 27 golfers that are selected. And in each of the groups, only select 1 golfer. Just 1 golfer. So we want to find 2 to 4 golfers, and they can't be paired up together with anyone else in the group. So your first group is Xander, Alex Noren, Wyndham Clark. It's a pretty good group. I actually don't hate any of those golfers. Next one after that is Matsuyama, Morikawa, and Goddard. Ooh, choices, man, choices. So I do like Chris Goddard, and I would have loved to have paired him up with either Morikawa or Matsuyama, but not going to do it in this field. Instead, maybe a Goddard Noren lineup, or even a Xander into Goddard. That actually could work out. That might be the play. Or you could do the opposite, Matsuyama into Noren or Morikawa into Noren. You know, getting a pretty balanced 10K into a 9K. I think that's fine. Moving on to the next group is Kurt Kitayama, Emiliano Grillo, and Taylor Moore. Kind of like Kurt Kitayama. I do. So maybe skip out this group here, Matsuyama, Morikawa, and Goddard, and maybe start with Scheffler or Noren, and then go to Kitayama if you do like Kitayama, or just skip out on this group. I guess you wouldn't have to entirely skip out on that group. You could literally go Kitayama, Goddard, and Wyndham Clark, and you could build a pretty dynamite lineup that way, and you're selecting 3 of the golfers from the Marquee Tee Times. So that's possible. That is a possibility. Group 4 is Minwoo Lee, Adam Scott, Nico Echeverria. I like all of them. It's kind of interesting. So Minwoo is Australian, Adam Scott is Australian, and Nico is Venezuelan, I believe. Yeah, I think he's Venezuelan, or maybe Colombian. Is he Colombian? Yeah, he's not Venezuelan. He might be Colombian. I can't remember. Anyways, that's a pretty good group. I don't mind it. Next one is Kevin Yu, Garrick Higo, and Matt McCarty. All 3 of those guys are just fine. Siwoo Kim, Gary Woodland, Carl Phillips. Carl Phillips is on the ban list. We don't play Carl Phillips. Siwoo Kim, Gary Woodland, I don't mind. Hubbard, Sam Stevens, and Takumi Kanaya. Give me Sam Stevens all day long. Benny Ann, Lee Hodges, Sahith Theegala. We know Benny Ann is on the no-fly zone, or the ban list, basically. So too is Sahith Theegala. I would never pair those guys up together, by the way, regardless, but I'd almost just avoid them altogether. Does Lee Hodges have positive strokes gain stats? He does, and he has a 0.79. Wow. And he's pretty much a 0 putter. Lee Hodges might be a decent play this week. Gerard Mitchell and Joe Highsmith. Yeah, I don't really care about that group. All right, ladies and gentlemen. For those that are in the chat, let's build some lineups. And I'm going to build each of you. If you are a YouTube member, I will build you 5 lineups. If you are not, I'm building you 3 lineups. So I see most of you guys are, not most, some of you guys are not. But yeah, 3 lineups for non-YouTube members, 5 lineups for YouTube members. If you want to become a member, hit the little $sign down there. Actually, there's a goal. Can I do goals on here, I wonder? Said I could start. Oh, there's a goal up here. Oh, those are only super chats. That kind of seems lame. Let's not do that. All right. Nico and Roy, that's my first one. Okay. If you guys want to take a look at that, I would just pause the video, go back and pause the video. Pick 2 golfers, 2 to 4 golfers you want to build lineups around. So you went Nico, who's 7,100. And Kevin Roy, which was 6,900? 6,800. All right, AJ, let's build you 3 lineups that have different starting golfers. First lineup: Xander, Kitayama, Vince Whaley, Gerard, Echeverria, and Kevin Roy. That's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so let's kick out Xander and see who else we can get. Morikawa. Okay, let's not do Kitayama, but here's a Kitayama lineup. Morikawa, Kitayama, Wyndham Clark, Billy Horschel. Ooh, I don't mind that. Billy Horschel coming back. Echeverria, and then Kevin Roy. That's a good lineup. But I'm going to kick out Kitayama. Let's see what else we can get. Matsuyama, Yu, Clark, Whaley, Echeverria, and Roy. Sure. Yeah, sign me up. That's a great lineup. And I will kick out Matsuyama now. And I'm sure... Oh, whoa. My bad. This one, no limits. But it starts with Morikawa, Kevin Yu, Wyndham Clark, okay, let's kick out Whaley. It's too much Whaley. And let's kick out Wyndham Clark. Let's see what else we can get. That was that quick. Wow. Morikawa, Noren, Yu. So 1099, Echeverria, Hosler, Roy. Do I want 1099? That's not bad. Let's kick out Yu. It's not terrible. It's not what I want. There we go. I mean, this is better, and I like that Sungjae is in this one. Morikawa, Thorbjornsen, Sungjae M, Grillo, Echeverria, and Kevin Roy. That's great. Okay. So those are 3 lineups for Mr. AJ Lee. Lombardi Lee wants Thorbjornsen, Woodland, and Eric Cole. Ooh. Okay. Thorbjornsen. Morikawa. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Woodland, Eric Cole. Okay. Eric Cole, what was he, 92? Where are you at, Eric Cole? Cole. Bud Colley's in the field, by the way. I didn't even see that. I do like Bud Colley. Gary Woodland. Woodland, where you at? No, we just talked about him. $8,200. All right. We got a member, so we'll build 5 lineups. 5 for you. First one, Kitayama, Thorbjornsen, Wyndham Clark, Gary Woodland, Hisatsune, the assassin. We gotta do it. Okay, let's do that. Kitayama, I'm gonna boot out of here. Give him the boot. AJ, you're welcome. Next lineup is Xander, Michael Thorbjornsen, Woodland, Hisatsune, Eric Cole, and Mitchell. Okay, I like that. So there's a lineup. You know what? It's a lineup for you. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. But we're gonna kick out the assassin. Let's try this again. We get the same thing, but it's Eric Cole, Echeverria into Keith Mitchell. 1098 777. I love it. Let's kick out Xander. We get Hideki, Thorbjornsen, Woodland, Grazerman, Eric Cole, Keith Mitchell. All right, I like that lineup. That's a lineup for you. I'm gonna kick out Keith Mitchell though. Let's see something different. We get Thorbjornsen, Yu, Woodland, Clark, Nikolai Højgaard, and Eric Cole. Love it. And we'll kick out Yu, and then this will be the last lineup for Mr. Lombardi Lee. And we get Matsuyama, Thorbjornsen, Woodland, Grazerman, Cole, and Matti Schmidt. Love it. That was a good lineup. All right. Next lineup. Kevin Yu and Alex Smalley. Ooh. Mr. Smalley, where are you? Smolly. Where's Smelly Smolly? Found him. $6,700. Let's give him a little bit of a point boost. We get Xander, Kitayama, Kevin Yu, so 10.99. Schmid, Roy, and Smalley. Okay, that one's fine. Then we get Xander, Yu, Sungjae, Whaley, Mitchell, and Smalley. I'll go ahead and kick out Yu. Not Yu. Whaley. Let's kick out Vince Whaley. We get Morikawa, Kitayama, Yu, Gerard, the Assassin, and Alex Smalley. That's a great lineup. I'm not sure how I feel about 10.99. It's fine. Let's kick out Kitayama like I've done in the past. Okay. Xander, Kevin Yu, Sungjae. There's Bud Colley, Schmidt. Ooh, okay. You know what? This is what you get. It's a great lineup. Great lineup. And last one. Xander, Yu, Im, Hubbard, Byung Hanan. He's on the no-fly list. Let's not play him. Goddard, Yu, Wyndham Clark, Sungjae. So 998876. I love it. That's another good lineup. Cool. Those were lineups for Mr. Bryson Anderson. Mr. Anderson. All right. Cool. Last one looks like Norin, Morikawa, Cole, and more. He's got 4. He's got 4 guys. He's going in deep. Bryson, you're welcome. Eric Cole and Taylor Moore. Eric Cole and Taylor Moore. Oh, yeah. I got to remember to get a costume before. Is there an event on Halloween, or is there a week off? I don't think I could do a whole podcast in Macho's voice, though. That'd be awful. There isn't one. The bank of there. Oh, whoa. We are getting multiple weeks off. I mean, I kind of like that because I get to update the website more. That's pretty good for me. But kind of sucks. So we go this week and then we get a week off. Have the schedule up still? I do. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, you see this? So it goes 10-9, which is what we're on, Baycurrent. Then it goes to 10-23, Black Desert Championship. So there's a 2-week, that's 14 days. Then if you add 7, we get to 10-30. There's no tournament 10-30. It goes to 11-6, Worldwide Technology Championship. Wow. Okay. So we have 2 tournaments in October for the monthly giveaway. So here's what I'm gonna say to you guys right now. You all are in the chat. I think Nathan might be in the chat. Nathan, out of all of you guys, is the only dude that goes into the comment section afterwards and puts in, let's hit the sweet spot. You literally, after this video goes live, go into the replay version of it. In the comment section, just hit, let's hit the sweet spot. You get 2 entries. And maybe the monthly giveaway is not that big of a deal to you, but you also get those go into the weekly giveaway. Like AJ, I don't understand why you talk about earlier in the year, you're like, I don't got enough money to play DraftKings. You can literally get yourself 3 entries or maybe even 4 entries into the giveaway just by being here during the roll calls. So you get up to 2 that way usually. And then you just go type in "let's hit the sweet spot" in the comment section of any of the videos, any of the weeks. But I only get Nathan doing it. Nathan and Denny Berry. Denny's usually not here in the live chat. Those are the only 2 guys. You guys are busting my balls. Busting my balls. It's so easy. You guys can get extra entries. You can get 5 easy bucks, man. 5 easy bucks. Now Nathan's probably like, "Are you kidding me, Eric? Why? That gives me the best opportunity to win." Who else am I giving you? Taylor Moore. It reminds me, I was briefly looking at Andy Lack's content that he puts out there. And because it was Mississippi, he goes, strokes gained putting in red states for Taylor Moore because he's a Republican. What a joke. Taylor Moore, where was he? Did he even finish anywhere inside the top 10? There he is. He missed the cut. Missed the cut. Putting was great. Around the green was awful. And then off the tee and approach was pretty much break even. Yep. Oh, wait, what? His putting was good. So yeah, he actually was putting. He's a very good putter. Very good putter in the red states. Good for Andy Lack. Good for Andy Lack. All right. All right, we got our 4 names in there. Let's bump down Smalley. Do we need to bump anyone else up? Eric Cole's fine. Taylor Moore's fine. These guys are fine. Okay, here we go. We are building 3 lineups for Trey. Morikawa, Norin Adam Scott, the Assassin, Rio Satsune, Eric Cole, and Taylor Moore. I'm down for it. Sure. 10, 9, 8, and 3 7s. I'm actually going to kick out the Assassin. That's a lot of Assassin. Next lineup, Morikawa, Norin, Vince Whaley, Ryan Gerard. I do like Ryan Gerard. Eric Cole, Taylor. Ooh, Trey. These are some solid lineups. Let's kick out Norin. Or no, did you have Norin in there? You did. Never mind. Let's kick out Whaley. Vince Whaley. Let's kick him out. Last lineup. Morikawa, Norin, Gary Woodland, Eric Cole, Marty Schmid, Taylor Moore. That's a solid lineup here. You're going to get one of these. For that lineup, you get one of these. Sexy. Sexy lineup. Very good. Very good. You know what? Jeez, I haven't done this.
Very good. Okay, very good. You know that I'm the cream of the crop. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters, no. Maybe I am insane. Maybe I am insane. And maybe it's time for you to find out how
insane I am.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and germs, that's it. Lineups lock tomorrow at 6:45 p.m. I think it's 6:45. Let's just say 6 o'clock to be safe. 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you get your lineups in before that. Also, maybe you and I can get on DraftKings. Here, this is what I did. I tweeted at them. Hey, DK Assist, can we get those 25-cent winner take alls back for the fall PGA Tour events? We should be able to fill those up. I think we can, right? We'll pass this along the contest team. Hey, anyone that's on Twitter or on X, go retweet this. Retweet it right here. Hey, DK Assist. Just retweet it and say, yeah, me too. I want them as well. Love those contests. All right, guys. That's it for me. I got nothing else. You guys have any questions? Anything? Anything left to say?
Gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing.
Oh, you gotta get him that hawk tour and spit on that thing. You get me?
I think that your time is done, and I think that the spotlight should go on top of me. Yeah.
Man, I have the soundboard that I never use. I always forget to use it. All right, not sure if there's a delay on your guys' end, but this is my farewell to you. Goodbye until 2 weeks from now. Count them, 2 weeks from now during the Black Desert Championship. I should have a few more things to show you on the website by that time, so be on the lookout for that. Oh, Bryson said something. Whaley seems to be loved by the Opto after removing the group from earlier in the stream with strokes gained under 0.5. I always get this guy wrong, but maybe this is the week. I mean, what the thing with Whaley that everybody's been talking about, if I go and click down on Whaley, is he hasn't missed a cut since the Corrales Punta Cana. So we are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 straight events where he's made the cut. Now, for $8,000, I don't even know if that's that big of a deal, to be quite honest with you. Well, there's Grazerman, who's also $8,000, who's been missing a lot of cuts as of late. He did have kind of a good stretch, but yeah, he hasn't been as good. Out of all of them, or not all of them, but a lot of the golfers around him, I mean, besides last week, Emiliano Grillo would have given him a run for his money. He would have been the second best. Gary Woodland's missed cuts were at major championships, US Open, PGA, and then of course RBC Canadian is not a major championship, but that's a tough course. He's fine. Sung Jae with some bad missed cuts. Bezzy. Ooh, Adam Scott, kind of the same. Missed the cut at the Masters, missed the cut at the Open, so major championships. Outside of that, ooh, Adam Scott, and the Players. Adam Scott's probably the best golfer between $8,500 to $7,500 when it comes just to made cuts. Yeah, by far. I mean, Adam, we don't have to worry about missed cuts, but like Adam Scott just plays better in these types of events. I am liking Adam Scott. Michael Torbjornsson. Rasmus. All right. Yeah. Goddard has a sexy stat sheet. Like me some Chris Goddard. And clicking through names, seeing if there's anything that pops out. I mean, Xander still has he's made every cut this year. Just throwing that out there. Okay. All right, ladies and germs. I'm actually taking off this time. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.